Hey, good to have you with us today. We have a very interesting show on Veterans Medals Workshop. For the first time, we're going to take a look at two of the most prestigious and iconic badges in the United States Navy. We're going to take a look at the Chief Petty Officer hat insignia or device, and what is the symbolism of the fouled anchor or the chain or the USM. We'll just touch on that. And we're going to take a look at some of the most interesting and prestigious badges of the United States Navy. We're going to take a look at the Fleet, Force, and Command badges for Chief Petty Officers, Senior Chief Petty Officers, and Master Chief Petty Officers. And maybe you can help me solve a little mystery of why there are two different variations of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy's insignia. We'll take a look at that, and you can give me some feedback in the comments below. Okay, let's go.
The United States Navy Chief Petty Officer hat device is one of the most recognizable symbols in the United States Navy. Shown here, left to right, is the Chief Petty Officer E7 cap device. In the center is the Senior Chief Petty Officer hat device, E8. And on the far right is the Master Chief Petty Officer hat device, E9. The device consists of three main symbols: the fouled anchor, the USN insignia, and the chain. And each part of the device has its own unique symbolism and historical significance. The fouled anchor, which is the anchor with a chain wrapped around it, is a traditional maritime symbol representing the challenges of a seafaring life. The letters USN stand for United States Navy, and they signify the allegiance of the chief to the nation, the Navy, and the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. Chain wrapping around the anchor represents the unbreakable connectivity between Navy chiefs and the sailors they lead. It symbolizes unity, continuity, and loyalty, underscoring the chief's role as a leader who binds and strengthens the Navy. Chief Petty Officer rank was established in 1893. And the Chief Petty Officer hat device is earned only after selection to the rank of chief, typically following years of service, leadership, and proven ability. Shown here, starting on the top row, is the current sleeve insignia, shoulder insignia, collar device, chest insignia, and the cap device for Chief Petty Officer E7. The center row shows that of a Senior Chief Petty Officer, and the bottom row shows the same for Master Chief Petty Officer E9. On the far right is a sleeve insignia of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, and we'll look at some of his other insignia in just a moment.
There are a lot of great traditions that go with earning the golden anchor of a Chief Petty Officer's cap insignia. And one of the most iconic ones is done on the USS Constitution quarterdeck. It's called the Anchor Up Ceremony, and it goes all the way back, well, to 1893, I think. But the Constitution itself goes back to the early 1800s and is the United States Navy's oldest continually operated ship. And if you're in Boston Harbor on the 4th of July, you can see it come out of its slip and sail down the harbor and back. It's very impressive. Okay, come on, let's go.
Hey, I'm happy to announce that my latest book, Medals and Ribbons of the United States Navy, is now available on Amazon, and it covers every medal and ribbon of the United States Navy. One of the most unique and prestigious badges in the United States Navy is the Navy's Fleet, Force, and Command badges. And the Navy's Fleet, Force, and Command Master Chief, Senior Chief, and Chief Petty Officer badges are worn by all naval personnel serving in the capacity of Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Fleet Master Chief, Force Master Chief, Command Master Chief, and Command Senior Chief or Command Chief Petty Officer. The gold-colored badges are approximately 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/8, and they are bordered with a gold chain. The Master, Senior, or Chief Petty Officer device and identifying silver plate with applicable raised silver lettering such as Navy, Fleet, Force, or Command are centered on a brushed gold background. Shown here is a Command Chief Petty Officer E7 cap device and command badge. A Command Senior Chief Petty Officer would have a silver star on the top of his cap device and also on the top of his command badge, as shown here. Here's a really nice example of a Command Master Chief wearing the identification badge on the white uniform. I think there may be some unique variations of the identification badge for submariners and perhaps also for variations of the SEALs. Here's another good example of a Command Master Chief Petty Officer's insignia. Each badge has a unique insignia to represent the level of command and the scope of a petty officer's responsibility. These badges are considered an honor and are recognized for the representation of experience, leadership, and dedication. The United States Navy Petty Officer Command Badges include specific designs that signify various command levels and specialty. For example, starting on your left, the Command Master Chief's badge represents the highest senior enlisted position within large Navy commands, often at fleet, group, or region level. And the badge signifies the Master Chief's role in advising command leadership and overseeing enlisted personnel across a very wide operational scope. Center is the Fleet Master Chief badge, and it's assigned to Master Chiefs serving as the senior enlisted leaders in fleet commands. The badge is unique in that it reflects the Master Chief's role with major naval fleets, such as the Pacific Fleet or the Atlantic Fleet. Force Master Chief's badge, shown on the far right, is worn by Master Chiefs who serve at the highest level of various Navy forces, such as Submarine Force or Surface Force. Here's a very nice example of a Fleet Master Chief's badge on the uniform. The Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy has 3 stars atop his command badge, and it's a good example of how it looks on his uniform. And here's another good example of a Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy badge on the uniform. Here's where I can use a little help. On the left is the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy's identification badge, and on the right is, well, another variation of the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy's badge, except it has Navy on it. Can someone give me a little background on that badge?
By the way, special thanks to Medals of America in Fountain Inn, South Carolina, for providing all of the insignia that you've seen today. They're a great company, and we appreciate their support and sponsorship of Veterans Medals Workshop.
If you enjoyed this Navy video, you'll enjoy the video on the EOD, CB, Special Operations, Submarine, Fleet, Marine Force, Diver, and Warfare badges of the U.S. Navy. Another great Navy video is Surface and Aviation Warfare badges of the U.S. Navy. And you can enjoy and flip through the most comprehensive selection of United States military awards books at www.moapress.com or Medals of America Press. See you there.